Hey guys, EBPMAN here, and in today's video we're taking a look at the Orbi Wi-Fi router, but this is a special router. Check this out. This is the 4G LTE Advanced Wi-Fi router. If you've ever had your internet go down in your home and wish you had a backup, well, this is the router for you. Let's go ahead and check it out. Now let's face it, all of us are either working from home or going to school from home. And it really doesn't matter if you're in grammar school, grade school, high school, or college. Having a stable connection for your classes is important. It's absolutely critical. And if you're a business person, being able to have a Zoom meeting, being able to have GoToMeeting, or even a WebEx, and not losing that connection or the audio quality or video quality is essential. So in today's video, we're taking a look at the Orbi Wi-Fi router. It's an advanced 4G LTE router that has two internet connections. You can have a SIM card that's going to give you, again, LTE service coming from your cell phone provider, and it also can take the internet coming from your local provider. So if you have a cable provider or a telecom provider that's giving you local internet, you can have that as well. The point here is that you have two connections. In the case that one of these drops, so let's say your primary drops, the 4G LTE connection will take over and you'll be able to continue to stream. Now, let's say you're in a rural area where you don't have access to cable or telecom Wi-Fi. Well, don't worry, because you could also use your SIM card, the 4G LTE connection, to give you a strong internet signal so that you can use internet in your home. So in today's video, we're going to take a look at this product. We're going to look at the features. We're going to look at all the configuration options and why, in this time, this is an essential router to have. Let's get right to it. Now, before taking a closer look at the system itself, let's take a look at some of the highlights here that we have in the packaging. First of all, this unit itself is going to cover 2,000 square feet, just one unit alone. If you need more space, you can always purchase a second one and then have a mesh network where you have two units running simultaneously, and that's going to give you a broader area. You basically have speeds, Wi-Fi speeds up to 2.2 gigabits, which is going to give you enough streaming to run multiple devices. You're going to be able to stream 4K. You're going to be able to do any of your streaming services as well as those important essential meetings or school sessions online. Now, for those of you who want to take advantage of the 4G LTE capabilities, and keep in mind that if you want to run this just as a router coming from your cable provider or telco provider, you could do that. But if you want to take advantage of this LTE capability, all you need to do is have an activated data SIM that you plug into the device, and we'll show you how that will work, and you'll be able to connect and use that as your exclusive streaming option or as the backup. So now this is how this router works. So here we have our Orbi router. So we have it right here, and this is the 4G LTE one. It is basically going to be connected either to your cable provider, or it's going to have that 4G LTE connection to one of the towers that are close to you. Again, you're going to be able to use, let's say, like a T-Mobile SIM card or an AT&T SIM card for this, or the provided SIM card that comes in the box. Now, if your home or the area that you need to cover is greater than 2,000 square feet, you can always add another Orbi satellite, and that's going to extend your coverage, and it's going to give you tremendous coverage. Now, again, the value proposition is this, that you could have always on internet because it will seamlessly switch between your internet provider cable to your LTE provider. But rest assured, if all you have is LTE, and that's your only choice, and some of us, that's all we have, then you can use it that way as well. Now, inside the box, you'll find everything you need to get your Orbi up and running. In addition to your power adapter, you're going to find an Ethernet cable, and you'll find your Orbi. Now, as we take a look at the Orbi, it's really small, it's compact, it's thinned quite a bit since the original ones and some of the older versions that I've seen. And in the back here is where you see all of the options and a lot of the connectivity that you're going to be able to take advantage of. So first of all, you do have some LTE antennas that you can get optionally to improve your overall LTE coverage if that's something that you need. You have a sync button. You have this yellow one here is where your internet is coming in. So this is from your cable provider. You could have a secondary LAN connection. And then what you have is your power button here. You have a reset switch, and then here's where your SIM is. And I'm going to pull the SIM out just so you can see how this works. So here's our SIM card. And basically what you do is you slide it in here, and you just push it in, and you'll hear a click indicating that it's secure and it's in place. You have another antenna here, and again, to help improve that Wi-Fi coverage. This is going to be essential for those of you who are in those rural areas that there's really no cable, no fast internet, and you want to be able to use the cell towers to get the best possible signal. Now, one of the things I love about the NetGear Orbi solution is that it's not just about getting you connected and online, but it's about giving you the best internet experience that you possibly can have. And that's because the management software that's on your mobile device allows you to really assess, fine-tune, and really understand your internet at your home. So let's take a look at some of the features that you can use to get the best and fastest connection possible. Now, the app that we're taking a look at here is available both on iOS and on Android, and I'm using my Samsung Galaxy Fold 2 to actually show you all the features that we see here. So the first thing that you have is you have the ability to see your router, and you see the status. So you see your LTE status, you have your internet status, and then if you have any satellites that are expanding your mesh network, making it larger, so going beyond the 2,000 square feet. Now, if we take a look at the first area, we have a device manager. Now, the device manager is going to show you all the devices that you have connected on the system, and then also the connection type that you have. So you'll be able to see if it's on 5G, or you'll be able to see it if it's on 2G, whichever connection type you have, and you'll be able to see those. You can also pause them. So if you do want to pause those devices, you can, which is a great parental control if that's something that you'd like to do, so that there's no access maybe after hours, or for whatever reason that you'd like to control that. Now, in addition to that, you do have a security solution, which I'm going to tap on right here. Now, the cool thing about the security solution now is that it gives you the ability to turn your Wi-Fi router into a malware and virus detection solution. So let's face it, anytime you connect to the internet, when you do that connection, any website that you go to, no matter how innocent it may be, it could have a virus on the website itself. So what will happen is, by enabling this solution, right, this is the NetGear Armor and it's powered by Bitdefender, it's going to secure all your connected devices, because every time these devices go out to the internet, they're exposed to the potential viruses or malware. And what it's going to do is it's going to just filter and identify all the activity. The other thing it's going to do is it's going to block viruses, spyware, and malware. So when you go onto a website, if someone's trying to draw software down to your PC, your desktop, to your phone, to any device, it's going to know it and it's going to prevent it. It's going to also identify any kind of websites that you may be going to that may have like online scams, and it's going to prevent you from actually accessing them, which is going to be a great safeguard. And then it's going to prevent and protect your data from hackers, because it's going to give you a lot of security. So this is a great solution. It's an all-in-one package that not only will give you access to the internet, but it's also going to give you secure access and peace of mind. Now, the other great aspect about this application is it really helps you understand what is your router capable of given the internet subscription that you have, or the device that is connected to. So as we take a look at the internet speeds here, you'll notice that the internet has a 742 download speed, and then it has a 38 megabits upload speed. So I'm just going to go into this for a second, and it's basically showing me my Orbi and my internet connection. And see, what you could do is you can test to see what kind of performance you're going to get. So I'm going to hit test my speed so you can see how this works. And what it's doing is, again, it's not testing how fast my device connects to the Orbi. It's basically testing my internet service provider and the Orbi, and how much the Orbi is going to be able to leverage from what I currently have. So you notice my upload speeds, and I have a lot of stuff going on in my house. I have 4K, I would say, streaming going on from my Nest cameras. We are, as I mentioned, a streaming home, so we probably have some other things going on around the house. And you're noticing that it's saying that at this time, my download speeds, it's doing these multiple tests, anywhere from 800 or more downloads. So it's saying 856 download is my total capacity of speed, and that's my upload is 40, and then you see what my ping is. So in addition to being able to see that, it also helps me with managing my Wi-Fi. Most times, a low-performing router has nothing to do with the hardware itself, but happens to do with all the noise that's going on around you. So when you have a lot of Wi-Fi networks, either in your home or around your home, depending on if you're in a condo or in a home, it could impact your internet. So what we're going to do next is we're going to go into the Wi-Fi analytics so you can see how you can fine-tune the Orbi to get the best possible experience. Now, in the Wi-Fi analytics area, it's going to tell me a lot about how the internet is in my home. In many cases, the reason why the internet is slow is not because of the hardware, but it's because of the network that's going around me. There could be a lot of 2.4 networks. There could be a lot of 5G networks going on. And if you're in a condo association, forget about it. You're going to have a lot of internet going on around you, so you may not have the best performing solution. And it doesn't have anything to do with the router itself. It just has to do with all that Wi-Fi noise. So here it's telling me what my Wi-Fi connection looks like. It says I'm on the 3rd floor. My router's on the 1st floor. And it's saying that I have an okay connection, but it could be very good and it could be amazing. Depending on what level of the home I'm on, it goes from okay to very good to amazing. If I am on the same floor as the router is, it gets to the amazing state. So it's scanning that. Now if I swipe over, the other thing that it's doing for me, it's actually showing me what my speeds are by room. So you can actually label each room. Now my living room, you'll notice right here that it has 100% signal and it's closest to the router, and it has 866 megabit speeds. So literally what it's doing is it's testing the performance of my tablet here, of my Z Fold, and it's seeing what kind of response it's getting, what kind of speed test it's getting. My bedroom, which is the furthest, you'll notice here has a 95% signal strength, and it's getting 390. So you can see how significant of a difference is. But again, this is on my third floor, not on the first floor where my living room is. If I look at this other bedroom, and now this is on the opposite side of the house, I have 100% signal strength, and it went up to 866. My kitchen, which is just one floor above where the router is, 100% signal, 866. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to test where I am right now. So you're going to see this test. I'm going to hit this test, and again, what it's testing is what's the internet performance from where I am onto the specific device. And you can see that I have 93% signal strength, and I'm getting 260 megabits. So this is giving me a sense of what's going on in my home. Now, if I wanted to improve the Wi-Fi in my home office or that bedroom by getting a satellite, it would improve it, right? It's just saying that I'm kind of stretching it in these areas. So it's great to know how things are performing based on your location. Now, the other thing that you can do is kind of assess what's going around your home to get the best internet connection. And what you see here is my network status and all the networks that are available, right? So it's basically taking a look at the networks that are being run, the Wi-Fi coverage that I have in my home, and some competing devices that are either my neighbor's devices or my devices. And this all creates noise. This basically makes it really difficult at times for your Wi-Fi, for your routers to be able to perform well. The important thing about this is that as it's doing this, it's actually, the Orbi is choosing the best possible connection given all the noise or all the additional Wi-Fis that you have in your home. The nice thing about this is that you can see it in the app. Now, given the number of networks that I have either in my home or around my home, you'll notice here that it has a channel rating. So it's rating from anywhere from 1 all the way up to 57. And it's basically highlighting the number of networks that exist in each one of the channels. If you think about this, this is like being in a room. If you only have 2 people and those 2 people are talking, great conversation. But if you're in a concert and there are hundreds of people, it makes it really difficult for you to understand or hear the person next to you. So you'll notice here that it's basically looking at which ones have very few Wi-Fi activity or Wi-Fi. And as we're going all the way down, you'll notice that it says, hey, you know what? 157 is a good one, or we have 149 is the best one. Now, what you could do is you could either manually select it or let Orbi choose it for you. And so it's selected 157 as the current selection. It's saying it's a good selection, and it also is giving me some recommendations if I'd like to change it to 940, 48, or 149. This is fantastic because it's helping you ensure that you have the best Wi-Fi connection. Now, depending on the sophistication of your network and how many devices you have connected, you could go into your network map. And this network map is going to give you basically a sense of how your Orbi is connected and the other devices that it may be going through. Mine is a direct connection. There isn't anything else, so it's pretty simple. Now, as we look at parental controls, you can also have parental controls on, and that's going to launch this application called Circle First Generation. You can install that, and what it's going to allow you to do is it's going to be able to have times that people can access the internet, that your children, you'll be able to map it to specific devices. It gives you a lot of flexibility when you have small kids and you want to make sure that there is good controls around internet access. Now, if you go to Wi-Fi settings, what you'll be able to do is look at your router name and change it. That's your SSID. Your network key, right? And then also what you could do is you can actually share that network key with a QR code. So most phones nowadays, if you point the phone to it, it will basically look at the QR code and set up the Wi-Fi, and you don't have to give someone your password. It's a great feature to have. And here you have what security method you have established. On the other side, you have your guest network, and you'll notice I have mine as Orbi Guest. You can change it to whatever you want. You can put your name, you can put your address, whatever you want, and it has a password, and it has the same features. And then what you can also do here is you can determine, what's the time period, how long this guest network is going to work. Is it going to work for an hour, 5 hours, 10 hours? Mine is on always, so I have no limitations. Now, the next thing that you can look at is your traffic meter. And your traffic meter is going to give you a sense of how much you're using. Now, I've been testing this for several days now, and you can see here. And we really use a lot of internet. So we're looking at how much internet has been consumed in gigs, as you can see that here. We consume close to a terabyte anywhere from 1 to 4 terabytes a month. I do a lot of uploading of videos. I do a lot of downloading of videos. I do a lot of research. So I consume a lot of internet. And basically what this is doing is telling me what my activity looks like. So this is great if you're curious on your internet usage. And for those of you who have to pay or actually have a plan where you have limits on your plan, it's good to see how much you're actually using so that you can budget out your internet usage. Now, for those of you who may be looking for maybe some more advanced features when it comes to the router, all you have to do is click on the home button, and then you can see here that you have the ability to add a satellite, a new setup. You can look at some add-ons. If you go into settings, it's going to basically take you to some of the things that we already saw, where you can look at your router settings. This is, again, going to give you internet port, mobile network, and then all of these details that are about your router, hardware type, firmware version, MAC address, some of the things that you may be curious if you're a more advanced user. All in all, though, it's a very capable system that gives you a very powerful yet simple experience when it comes to internet. So guys, if you're looking for a stable, reliable internet connection, make sure you check out the NetGear Orbi 4G LTE Advanced Router. If you'd like to learn more about the product, check out the link in the description area. See you in the next one.